Thank you, Madam Chair. Chair Homendy, thank you so much for coming before the committee and for your tireless dedication to safety across all modes of transportation. I'd like to discuss for a moment our work to improve the safety of helicopter tours. In 2019, the crash of an air tour helicopter in Hawaii killed 6 passengers and the pilot, including a mother and a daughter from Madison, Wisconsin. For that reason, it has become a real priority for me, and I know it has also been for Senator Schatz. NTSB's final report on that accident in May of 2022 cites several safety recommendations that are still outstanding by the FAA, and also issues new recommendations. And I was pleased to see the FAA propose new safety improvements in August of 2023. And I worked closely with Senator Schatz and Chair Cantwell to include additional safety improvements in the FAA bill that passed this committee just a few weeks ago. I'm wondering if you could provide a status update on how you view the current safety standards for helicopter air tours, and do you believe that the safety provisions included in the Senate version of the FAA bill would improve the safety of these tours?
Thank you very much for your work on this issue and for Senator Schatz's work on this issue. I think it's critical. The NTSB believes in one level of safety. Before I became NTSB chair or before I worked on the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure, if I showed up with my family to take an air tour, I would not know to ask, what are the qualifications of the crew? What are your operating standards? What are your operating rules? What are your maintenance procedures? You wouldn't normally ask those questions. If you were somebody who shows up for a parachute jump flight, you think my biggest risk is jumping out of the plane, not getting on the plane, which also crashed in Hawaii. So we believe you're a paying passenger, whether you're on Part 121, Part 135, Part 91, you deserve the same level of safety. And we have advocated strongly for a set of regulatory standards that address just that. We've seen no action on that. This is something I have been extremely passionate about since I came to the board, whether it was Fly Nyan in New York, where we literally listened to people's last moments that were strapped into a helicopter on an air tour with a Home Depot harness that was supposed to hold them in, and they couldn't unhook it. They drowned. That is horrific. So still, we don't have the standards we've recommended. We did an entire report on ensuring safety in revenue passenger operations under Part 91. We looked at incidents or accidents, terrible tragedies in Hawaii, Arizona, I mentioned New York, Connecticut, with a B-17 historic adventure flight that crashed. And each time we continue to say safety needs to improve, and each time we've been ignored. The public deserves better. FAA should issue standards to ensure their safety. Thank you for your work.
Thank you. I know several of my colleagues have already raised the issue of train derailments and rail safety. I'm very concerned that the derailment rate of the largest 4 Class 1 railroads have increased by 23% in the last decade. While not nearly as devastating as the derailment in East Palestine that was just being discussed, my home state of Wisconsin saw a few train derailments over the last year as well, including one in DeSoto, Wisconsin, that led to some of the rail cars temporarily ending up in the Mississippi River. Would you be able to speak to your belief as to why we're seeing an increase, not a decrease, in derailments and in the past decade, and specifically what we need to be doing to confront that challenge?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Senator. One thing that is of particular concern, so the derailment rate is sort of a combined rate from mainline track and for the yards. We are seeing a significant increase in derailments and tragedies in the yards. That is where we're very concerned about employee safety. We've seen that repeatedly. We've issued a number of recommendations. We have a lot of open investigations. For Norfolk Southern alone, we have 8 investigations that are currently open, and we're also doing a safety culture review separate from East Palestine. But in particular, we have 190 safety recommendations that we've issued that are currently open to improve rail safety, whether it's preventing fatigue or providing for increased inspection or new technologies to supplement, not supplant workers, supplement the work to ensure safety. Those 190 have not been acted upon. Happy to provide those for the hearing record, but they can be today, and I hope they will.
Senator, thank you, Senator Baldwin. Senator